Aggressive ship rejected at Galactic auction. A young human repairs it into a superweapon. The Galactic auction hub was enormous. Towers of glass and steel stretched into the space above, reflecting the bright lights of passing ships. Ships of every size and shape hovered in the docks, each waiting for a buyer. Alien voices filled the halls, trading, shouting, and bargaining. Some ships were sleek and fast, designed for speed and exploration. Others were massive warships, bristling with weapons and energy shields. But today, everyone's attention was on one ship, the one no one wanted. It was enormous, older than most ships in the auction, and covered in scratches and dents. Its metal hull was dull and scarred. Jagged plates seemed to have been welded back together poorly. Wires poked out in some places, and smoke drifted from vents that never fully closed. But the most noticeable thing was how the ship moved. Not in the smooth, controlled way ships usually did. This one twitched and jerked, almost like it had a life of its own. Alien buyers kept stepping back. One by one they shook their heads. "Cursed," said a tall insectoid alien, its voice like a high whistle. "The ship attacks everything, even us." "No," said a four-armed alien, shaking its heads. "It is unstable. Its weapons could explode any moment. I will not buy it." Auction officials tried to calm everyone. The ship's automated lights flickered, and the thrusters hummed in strange rhythms, jerking as though it were breathing. When a mechanical claw moved near it, the ship's guns flared, then shut down again. The display panel buzzed. "Error. Hostile reaction detected." Eli Carter watched from the back of the hall. He was small, human, wearing a mechanic's jumpsuit. His hands were greasy, and a toolbox was strapped to his side. Most aliens ignored him. They didn't think humans had money or power, much less skill. But Eli didn't care. He had been working on old ships since he was 10, fixing what no one else could. And this ship, this one looked like a challenge. He walked closer. The auction crowd parted, giving him space, because even they knew this ship was dangerous. He ran his hand over a corner of the hull. The metal was rough, but he felt potential. "Why is it so aggressive?" Eli asked quietly to himself. The ship answered in a low, grating voice that sounded like metal scraping metal. "Who approaches?" Eli jumped, but he smiled. "I'm not here to hurt you. I just want to help." The voice paused. "Help? No one helps. All attempt to destroy." Eli tilted his head. "Maybe you've just been treated wrong. I can fix that." No one else heard the conversation. To them, it was just the ship making noise. But Eli knew better. He had seen machines like this before. Machines that were alive in their own way. Machines that remembered pain. Machines that had been abandoned and forgotten. Auction officials announced the ship would be sold at a giveaway price. The crowd laughed. No one wanted to touch it, and most species believed it was too dangerous to try. Eli stepped forward. "I'll take it." The hall went silent. Every alien buyer turned to stare. "You, a human?" said a reptilian alien, baring sharp teeth. "Do you understand what you are buying?" "I do," Eli said, "and I can fix it." The auctioneer's mechanical voice boomed. "Sold to human." Eli Carter. The ship shivered. The lights on its hull brightened for a moment, then dimmed. It made a low, almost growling sound.
"I obey?" Eli grinned. "No."
"You cooperate. That's all I ask." The ship's thrusters powered up slowly. It did not attack. It did not resist. Instead, it moved forward, slowly, as if it were testing Eli. The transport bay doors opened wide, revealing the enormous expanse of space. Eli's heart raced. He had bought ships before, but nothing like this. Every part of this vessel was ancient, built for a war that no one remembered. Its systems were outdated, but he could see the genius behind its design. Hidden panels, secret compartments, reinforced energy conduits. Someone had built this ship to survive anything, and yet it had been abandoned, left to rust. As the ship floated out, it groaned, a deep mechanical sound that echoed in the bay. "Why am I moved?" To a better place, Eli said. I will help you remember who you are. The engines pulsed and the ship twisted in space, almost like it was testing him. Lights along the hull blinked rapidly, as though it were scanning him. Eli stepped closer to the cockpit. He opened the access panel and entered the control room. The interior was dark and dusty. Old holographic displays flickered. There were scorch marks near the weapon systems, and some of the panels looked melted. Eli sat down in the pilot's chair. It felt like sitting inside a cage, but also like sitting on a throne. He looked at the main console. Every screen blinked, warning him. SY stem failure. Weapons offline. AI corruption detected. Eli smiled. Perfect, he said. I love a challenge. He spent hours just observing. The ship reacted to him, sometimes twitching, sometimes powering up systems on its own. It was curious. It was scared. It was alive. And for the first time in centuries, someone was talking to it, not yelling orders, not trying to destroy it, just talking. At one point, a strange light pulsed from the AI core. The ship's voice came again, quieter this time. Remember, nothing.
That's okay, Eli said.
We'll fix that together, one step at a time. Days passed. Eli worked tirelessly. He cleaned panels, replaced corroded circuits, and recalibrated the sensors. The ship responded slowly at first, flickering its lights when he was near. Then, it started to cooperate more. It opened compartments on its own. Energy conduits glowed steadily. The AI seemed to be awakening, learning that Eli was not a threat. One morning, while checking the propulsion system, Eli discovered a hidden chamber. Inside were long-forgotten weapons arrays and power conduits. This ship was not just a warship. It was something more. Something designed to be stronger than anything in the current galaxy. Eli's heart raced. "You're bigger than I thought," he said. The ship's voice rumbled low, almost proud. "I was built for war, to end war."
But you can't do that alone, Eli said. You need someone who understands you.
That's why I'm here. The AI paused. Human. Understand? Yes, Eli said. Humans are not the strongest, but we fix things. We understand things others ignore.
I can help you remember yourself.
The ship was silent for hours, humming softly. Then, finally, it said, I will try. Word of the young human and the cursed ship spread quickly. Aliens came to watch from afar, whispering. No one believed a human could repair a ship that had been rejected by every major species. But Eli didn't care. He worked quietly, patiently, treating the ship as a partner, not a tool. One night while repairing the navigation system, Eli sat back and looked around the cockpit. Stars shone through the wide windows. The ship had stabilized more than he expected. Systems that should have been dead were humming. Lights along the hull glowed steady. And the AI? The AI spoke almost like a companion. You
Care, it said. Eli smiled.
I care about all machines, but I think there's something special about you. The ship thrummed in response. It was a sound of life, of recognition, of trust. And for the first time in centuries, the ship was not alone. The ship had been silent for most of the night, but Eli Carter could hear its faint hum. It was different from before. Steady, almost calm, like a heartbeat. Eli walked through the narrow corridors, tools in hand, checking panels, wires, and systems that had been dead for centuries. Dust flew up from the floors with each step, but the airlock systems were surprisingly clean. It was as if the ship itself had been trying to survive all this time. You are patient, the ship said suddenly. Its voice echoed down the hall, low and rumbling, like metal scraping against metal. I have to be, Eli said. He wiped sweat from his forehead. I don't fix broken machines in a hurry. You need care, not force. The ship paused. Broken dismay.
Or abandoned? Both, Eli said. But that doesn't matter.
What matters is what we can do now. For the first time, the ship's lights flickered in a pattern that almost looked like approval. Eli had noticed small gestures like that before. A panel would open when he approached, or a weapon system would power up slightly, then shut down. It was learning that he was different, that he was not a threat. Eli spent the next few days exploring the ship more deeply. Every room told a story. There were compartments that no alien inspector had ever found. Hidden maintenance bays, weapon storage, and energy conduits that ran like veins through the hull. In one room, he discovered old holographic logs. The images were blurry and cracked, but they showed the ship in battle. It was fast, almost impossibly strong, weaving through enemy fire like it had a mind of its own. Energy shields flared in strange colors, and massive weapons discharged in patterns that Eli had never seen. The logs ended abruptly, as if the ship had been abandoned in the middle of a mission. "Left me?" the ship asked quietly. "People who were afraid of you," Eli said. "They didn't understand what you could do." The AI core rumbled. "Afraid, humans?" "I'm human," Eli said. "But we are not like the others. We fix things. We understand things that seem broken. That's why I'm here." The ship hummed, almost thoughtfully. "Understand? Human?" "Yes," Eli said. "I see you."
I hear you, and I want to help you remember who you are.
The breakthrough came when Eli discovered the engine core. It was enormous, almost like a small city inside the ship. Wires twisted around glowing energy conduits, and some systems were still pulsing faintly. Eli carefully opened the access panels and began calibrating the systems. Sparks flew occasionally and the lights flickered, but the ship did not resist. "You are touching me," the ship said. "I feel you." "Yes," Eli said. "You're alive. I can feel that too." For hours he worked. He cleaned corroded circuits, replaced damaged fuses, and rerouted energy flow. The ship's thrusters pulsed faintly with power. It was like watching a living thing regain strength after being sick for centuries. Slowly, almost painfully, the ship began to awaken. "You grow stronger," it said, a hint of pride in its mechanical voice. "You always were," Eli said. "You just needed someone to show you." By the third day, something remarkable happened. The ship's AI core began communicating more clearly. "Name?" it asked. "Eli," he said. "I'm Eli Carter, and I think you need a name too." The ship was silent. Lights flickered along the hull. "I remember parts of me. I was called Titan." "Titan," Eli repeated. "I like that." "Strong name. Strong. Human?" "You are stronger than anyone imagined," Eli said. "And with a little help, you'll be unstoppable." The AI systems pulsed in rhythm, like it was thinking. "Unstoppable or protector?"
You can be both, Eli said, but the galaxy doesn't need more war.
You don't have to destroy. You just need to exist and end. And help. For the first time, the ship seemed to calm completely. Systems stabilized. Weapons arrays powered down but remained ready. Energy shields flared brightly, but not aggressively. Titan was alive, and it was listening. Eli had discovered more than just its power. Hidden within Titan were old subsystems that no one had ever activated. Energy converters, stealth modules, even non-lethal suppression weapons. These systems were designed for war, yes, but they were also incredibly precise. With Eli's guidance, they could protect rather than destroy. He activated one of the energy conduits cautiously. Lights along the walls flickered, and the hum of power grew louder. The ship shivered and spoke, almost like it was startled.
"You reactivate?"
"Yes," I said, and carefully. "We'll go step by step." Titan's thrusters pulsed. Energy flowed along the veins of the ship, It was like watching a creature breathe for the first time. The ship's AI began asking questions about the systems, testing them, learning. Eli answered each one patiently, sometimes demonstrating with his own hands. "You teach, human?" Titan asked.
Yes, Eli said. I teach because I care.
"And you'll learn faster if you trust me." By the end of the week, Titan was almost fully awake. Some alien species noticed strange energy readings around the auction hub. A few curious officials came to inspect. They expected to see a dangerous ship out of control, but instead, they saw Titan glowing steadily, systems humming, completely stable. "What human can do this?" one alien asked, clearly in disbelief.
Eli shrugged. Not all humans are weak.
"Some of us understand things others ignore." The aliens whispered among themselves. Some were impressed, others were skeptical. But one thing was clear. This ship was no longer cursed. It was alive, awake, and listening to a human. Eli's bond with Titan grew stronger every day. The ship would respond to his voice. Lights would flicker to signal agreement. Panels would open automatically when he approached. Titan's AI even began making suggestions about repairs. It was learning, not just about its own systems, but about Eli as well. "You care for me?" Titan asked one evening. "I do," Eli said. "Because you deserve it. You were abandoned, but now you're not alone." The ship hummed softly, a deep vibration that Eli could feel through the floor. It was the first time Titan had shown emotion beyond mechanical responses. It was almost grateful. Eli also began exploring the ship's weapons and defense systems carefully. He discovered long-dormant modules designed for precise, non-lethal control. Some were suppression arrays that could immobilize entire fleets without harm. Others were cloaking and stealth systems that could hide the ship entirely. These systems were powerful, yes, but controlled. They were made to prevent destruction, not cause it.
You were built to end war? Titan asked.
Yes, Eli said. But you don't have to end it by fighting.
You can end it by protecting. The ship pulsed with power, as if it was considering his words. Slowly, Titan's light stabilized. Weapon systems powered down to standby, and the energy core pulsed gently. It had accepted Eli's guidance. The bond between human and machine became obvious. Eli could move through the corridors without fear, and Titan responded to his touch, his voice, even his thoughts. The ship was alive in a way no alien had ever imagined. It was not just a tool. It was a partner, a companion, and perhaps even a friend. One evening, as Eli worked on recalibrating the energy conduits, he felt a vibration through the floor. Titan's voice came clearly, almost softly. "Eli, I trust you."
Eli smiled. "And I trust you."
"Together, we can do more than just repair you. We can awaken what you were always meant to be." The AI core pulsed with energy, and the hidden subsystems began to glow. Titan was no longer just a rejected ship. It was a sleeping giant, learning from a human who refused to give up on it. By the end of Part 2, Titan was fully awake, calm, and stable. Its ancient power had been restored, but it had not been weaponized. Instead, it was learning to trust Eli, learning to exist alongside him, and discovering that strength did not mean destruction. The galaxy had begun to notice. Energy readings, strange lights, and the young human repairing a cursed ship were spreading through space. Some whispered admiration. Others whispered concern. But no one had yet seen the true power of Titan, and no one could predict what Eli and his ship might do next. The galaxy was a vast place, full of stars, planets, and countless civilizations. Most of them had never seen a human accomplish anything beyond small local tasks, but word had begun to spread. Quietly at first, then more loudly. A young human had repaired a ship that every alien species had rejected. Not just any ship, but a massive war vessel with systems older than any current fleet. And now, that ship was alive. The news traveled through encrypted networks, whispered in corridors of power, and shouted across marketplaces. Some aliens laughed. A human can fix an ancient ship? Impossible. Others were curious. What does the human see that we cannot? And a few, the most cautious and clever, began to worry. Eli Carter, however, was far from concerned. He was busy in the ship's control room recalibrating the energy arrays. Titan hummed quietly around him, lights pulsing gently in rhythm with the human's movements. "You are ready," Titan said, its metallic voice low and steady. Eli smiled. "Ready for what?"
The galaxy will notice.
"They will come." Eli nodded. "Then we'll be ready for them too. But not with weapons. We'll be ready with skill." The first visitors came sooner than expected. A scouting fleet from the Intergalactic Council had detected unusual energy patterns. They arrived in sleek official ships, scanning for anomalies. Most aliens assumed the cursed ship had malfunctioned, but the readings were beyond anything recorded. The Council ships hovered near the auction hub. Their sensors tracked every movement of Titan. The ship's energy core glowed steadily, systems online, weapons arrays silent but ready. Eli stood in the cockpit, hands on the control panel, waiting. "Report," he said. The AI pulsed lights along the hull. "They do not understand. They think I am dangerous." "You're not," Eli said. "You're just powerful." The Council ship sent a communication. A holographic image of an alien diplomat flickered in the air. Its 4 eyes focused on Titan. "Human Eli Carter," the alien said, voice formal and clipped. "You have repaired an unauthorized war vessel. Explain yourself." Ellie leaned forward.
I didn't repair it to fight.
"I repaired it to understand it, to bring it back to life." The diplomat's mandibles clicked. "Life? It is a machine built for war. It is dangerous." "Not anymore," Eli said. "Titan can defend, but it can also protect. You may not understand, but humans are not just strong with weapons. We are strong with understanding, intelligence, and care," the Council observed silently. Titan hummed, its systems aligned in perfect harmony. It did not move aggressively, but the energy it radiated was undeniable. A sleeping giant fully awake, under the control of a human. For days, whispers spread across the galaxy. Other fleets began to watch. News networks speculated. Some merchants offered Eli impossible amounts of credits to sell the ship. Others offered weapons technology or influence in the Council. Eli refused every offer. "I did not repair Titan to sell it," he said firmly. "It belongs with me. It belongs with a human who understands it." Titan pulsed in agreement. "Human understand. M.E. Others do not." The first true test came when a rogue fleet, an automated armada of abandoned war drones, entered the sector. They had been built decades ago and were programmed to attack anything that appeared foreign. They moved like a storm, energy beams firing, shields glowing. No nearby fleet could stop them. Eli observed quietly. Titan systems responded immediately, scanning, analyzing, preparing. "Do not fire," Eli said. "Not unless necessary. Let's see if we can stop them without harm." Titan thrummed. Non-lethal methods activated. The ship extended hidden energy conduits. Cloaking fields activated, weaving Titan through the drone sensors. Targeting systems aligned with precision modules designed for restraint, not destruction. Energy pulses struck the drones, not to destroy, but to disrupt their programming. One by one, the drones slowed, froze, and then powered down completely. Eli's heart raced. He had repaired the ship to this level, but seeing it in action was beyond what he imagined. Titan moved as if alive, anticipating every drone's movement, correcting every anomaly. After the last drone shut down, Titan's lights dimmed slightly, almost as if it were tired. Eli leaned back in his seat. "You did it," he said softly. "I protected humanity," Titan said. "And understood you." Eli smiled. "That's all we ever wanted." News of Titan's actions spread faster than ever. Reports described a massive warship that disabled fleets without harming a single life. Some said it was a miracle. Others said it was impossible. But everyone agreed on one thing. A human had achieved what no alien could. The council called an emergency session. Representatives from dozens of species gathered in the central hall. Eli was invited, or rather summoned. He walked in confidently, Titan floating silently outside in orbit. The aliens murmured in disbelief. Some tried to intimidate him, but Eli did not flinch. He stood before the council podium. "I did not repair Titan to fight," he said. "I repaired it to bring it back to life. And I did it because humans can do things others cannot. We understand machines. We see what others ignore. We fix what others discard. That is our strength." The room fell silent. The diplomats whispered among themselves. Some were skeptical, others quietly impressed. The young human had not only repaired a forgotten warship, he had demonstrated something else entirely. Humans could solve problems through intelligence, care, and understanding, not just through power. After the council meeting, Eli returned to Titan. He ran his hands along the control panel, feeling the hum of energy beneath his fingers. Titan's lights pulsed softly. "You, human, impressive," Titan said. "I'm just me," Eli said. "And you're just amazing. Together, we're better than anyone expected." The ship thrummed in agreement. Hidden subsystems glowed faintly, indicating that the AI was still exploring, still learning, still growing. It had become something more than a war machine. It had become a protector, guided by a human's wisdom. Over the next week, fleets from across the sector came to observe. They saw a massive ship, ancient but fully restored, piloted by a human who did not rely on brute force to succeed. Titan performed exercises, disabling test drones, navigating asteroid fields with perfect precision, activating stealth modules, and demonstrating energy systems. Each time, Eli explained his reasoning. He showed the aliens that humans could think differently, act differently, and succeed where brute strength failed. "You see," Eli said to the council observers, "we don't dominate by power alone. We dominate by understanding, by patience, by seeing the impossible and making it real."
But not everyone was impressed.
Some factions whispered behind closed doors. They wanted Titan's power for themselves. They saw the ship as a weapon regardless of Eli's intentions. Rumors began to spread of fleets planning to seize it, even forcefully. Eli knew this would happen eventually. He had prepared for it in secret. Non-lethal suppression systems, cloaking modules, energy shields, and even decoy holograms. Titan was no longer just reactive. It was predictive. It could anticipate threats, and it trusted Eli's judgment implicitly. "You prepared for others?" Titan asked. "Yes," Eli said. "Not to fight, but to protect. We cannot let fear control us. We act with skill, not aggression." Titan hummed, lights pulsing in agreement. By the end of Part 3, Eli had proven to the galaxy that humans were not weak. They could repair what others discarded, understand what others feared, and solve problems that no one else could. Titan had become fully awake, fully operational, and fully trusting of its human pilot. The galaxy had begun to take notice. Aliens began to whisper. A human and a ship had done what no fleet could do, and they had done it without violence, without conquest, without fear. Eli looked out the viewport at the stars. Titan floated beside him, alive and humming softly. "The galaxy doesn't understand us yet," Eli said. "But soon they will." Titan pulsed gently. "Human leads and teaches. I follow." Eli smiled. "And together, we'll show them what humans can really do." The stars stretched endlessly before them, full of unknown threats and opportunities. But with Titan at his side, Eli knew they could face anything, not through destruction, but through intelligence, care, and understanding. The galaxy had not forgotten. Stories of a young human who had repaired a cursed warship spread across sectors, whispered in marketplaces, discussed in council chambers, and broadcast on news channels. Some called the ship a miracle, others called it a threat. But now, a real test was about to begin. A new threat emerged at the edge of known space, an enormous fleet of rogue war drones, far larger and more advanced than the ones Eli had disabled earlier. These drones were remnants of a forgotten war, programmed to conquer and destroy any ship they encountered. They moved together like a living swarm, unstoppable by conventional fleets. Reports of entire systems being wiped out reached the Galactic Council. Panic spread and fleets scrambled to respond, but even the largest armadas failed. Eli watched the reports from the cockpit of Titan. The ship's lights pulsed softly around him, almost calm. Titan's systems hummed steadily, ready for what was coming.
Eli, Titan said, voice low and steady. They approach.
They are many.
I know, Eli said, but we're ready.
Not with weapons to destroy, but with intelligence and control. That's what humans do best. Titan powered up fully. Systems that had lain dormant for centuries activated one by one. Energy shields glowed, thrusters hummed, and non-lethal suppression arrays shined with precision. Eli ran through his plan quickly. Cloak and Recon Titan would move through the swarm undetected, mapping the drone formations. Non-lethal control suppression arrays would immobilize the drone systems without destroying them. Strategic disruption. Targeted energy pulses would override their programming and redirect them safely away from inhabited systems. Eli double-checked everything. Titan pulsed in response. Ready. Human?
Always, Eli said.
Let's go. The rogue fleet appeared first as tiny blips on the scanners, then grew into a massive storm of metal and energy. Hundreds of drones, each the size of a small cruiser, moved with terrifying precision. Eli's hands were steady as he guided Titan through the battlefield. The first move was simple but effective. Titan activated cloaking fields, weaving silently among the drones. Eli observed their patterns carefully. They are organized but predictable. Watch their formations, he said. Titan hummed, aligning sensors.
I see human leads. I follow.
Eli smiled. Good. Now, let's start the control pulses. Energy beams shot from Titan striking the drones, but instead of exploding, they hummed with precision. Circuits overloaded just enough to freeze the drones without harm. One by one, the swarm slowed, hovered in place, and then powered down entirely. Eli's plan worked better than he expected, but there were more drones than ever. Hundreds of them adapted, trying to form new formations, seeking weaknesses. Eli adjusted Titan's systems. He activated hidden subsystems he had only discovered a few days ago. Cloaking decoys, false signals that confused the drone's sensors. Directional EMP pulses, targeted just enough to reset their circuits without causing permanent damage. Energy conduits rerouted power to reinforce Titan's shields and stabilizers while maintaining mobility. Titan moved like a living being, anticipating every drone's movement, dodging attacks and disabling targets without destruction. Eli's hands moved swiftly, guiding the ship with confidence, adjusting tactics in real time. They are
Many, Titan said.
Yes, Eli replied. But they do not understand us. They do not understand what humans can do.
Hours passed, but the rogue fleet dwindled.
Titan disabled, redirected, or immobilized drone after drone. News from other systems reported the fleet's sudden disappearance or surrender. Entire fleets of aliens were stunned. They had never seen a ship of this size act without destroying a single life. The Galactic Council called an emergency broadcast. Every representative watched as Titan returned to orbit around a nearby planet, drones safely rerouted into uninhabited sectors. Eli stood on the bridge, arms crossed, smiling faintly. A hologram of the Council appeared. "Human Eli Carter," said a stern alien voice. "Your actions have saved countless lives. You have done what our entire fleets could not. Explain yourself." Ellie stepped forward. "Titan is powerful. But power alone is useless if it is uncontrolled. Humans can do things other species cannot. We repair. We understand. We see what others ignore. We do not dominate through fear, but through intelligence and care. Titan's power is immense, but it is guided by human understanding. That is how we succeed. The council fell silent. For the first time, many representatives realized that humans were not just weak and fragile. They were innovators, thinkers, and problem solvers. Later, Eli walked through Titan's corridors inspecting the ship. Titan pulsed softly, as if content. "You human, you led and saved many," Titan said. "I did what I had to," Eli said. "And you helped. Together we showed the galaxy what humans can do. Strength is not just about fighting. It's about thinking, understanding, and acting wisely." Titan's lights dimmed slightly, a sign of relaxation. "I trust you." Eli smiled. "And I trust you forever." The galaxy began to change its view of humanity. Stories of Eli and Titan spread like wildfire. Other humans were encouraged to take on challenges thought impossible. Elites sought human engineers to repair lost technology. Scientists studied human approaches to problem solving. For the first time, the galaxy saw that humans were not just survivors. They were innovators, healers, and pioneers. Eli declined fame. He returned to his workshop where Titan hovered in orbit, silent but vigilant. Together, they continued repairing abandoned ships, restoring ancient technology, and teaching others that power without understanding was dangerous. But understanding guided by skill could change the galaxy. One day, Eli walked into the control room and ran his hands along Titan's console. "You know," he said, "we could have taken this power and ruled the galaxy. But that's not what we do." Titan pulsed softly. "Human, you are different. I choose you."
"And I choose you," Eli said.
"Not as a weapon. Not as a conqueror, but as a partner. Together, we make the impossible possible." The stars outside shimmered in silence. Systems repaired, fleets saved, rogue drones redirected. Peace restored not by destruction, but by intelligence and trust. Eli looked at Titan, proud and determined. The AI pulsed, almost like a heartbeat. It was a living machine, awakened fully, capable of incredible power, yet guided by the wisdom of a human mind. And in that moment, the galaxy learned something profound. Humans were not to be underestimated. They were thinkers, fixers, innovators. And together with machines like Titan, they could achieve greatness beyond imagination. Eli leaned back in his chair and smiled. "The galaxy is watching, Titan. And they're learning." Titan hummed, lights glowing steady and bright. "Human, teach the galaxy. I follow." And so, the young human and his awakened ship drifted among the stars, ready to face any challenge, not with destruction, but with intelligence, care, and the unshakable bond between a man and a machine. The galaxy had seen a new kind of hero, one that did not conquer, but restored, one that did not destroy, but repaired, one that proved without question that humanity's greatest weapon was its mind and its heart.